Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. So, today I'll talk about key events in cybersecurity that happened in September 2023. It's hard to cover everything, but I have categorized the key events in acquisition, incidents, advisories, etc., and any new reports that I've read or heard about. So, let's start with acquisitions. So the biggest acquisition in September is Cisco buying Splunk in a $28 billion deal. So this is huge. Okay, Splunk is a popular product, and their main use case is analytics. So typically, organizations deploy Splunk software, and there are also open source versions or the freeware versions available. You can deploy the software on your system and capture data, do some analytics, and if you buy the commercial version, you can do more. You can deploy more use cases. You can enable ML, etc. Okay, the major use cases that they address are infrastructure monitoring, observability, application performance management, and on cyber security they do the SIM use case using the Splunk Enterprise Security. They have a product for SOAR, security orchestration, automation, and response. This came from their acquisition of Splunk years back. They have the Splunk Mission Control, which is a unified workbench for threat detection, investigation, and response. Cisco, on the other hand, already offers networking products, security products, collaboration products, computing platform, application performance, etc. Okay, so Cisco is the biggest networking player, to my understanding, that is deployed at all major enterprises as well as government worldwide. So they have a large customer base globally. Now, with the acquisition, what potentially Cisco can do with Splunk, and this is just my ideas, is build a strong analytics layer. So they already have the gear in place, which is capturing telemetry or data from the organization. And by adding Splunk to that stack, they will have better observability. Although Cisco has its own product, so I do see some overlaps, especially on the APM side. Cisco owns a company called App Dynamics, and definitely that means is there is some conflict or overlap that's there. They also are building a XDR platform, as they declared in the RSA conference earlier this year, and I'm sure the Splunk's SIEM and SOAR will help them with that story. Okay, so on security side, I hardly see any overlaps, but on the infrastructure side and application side, there is definitely some overlap. So let's see how Cisco does it. Now it takes years to combine sales, engineering, and product roadmaps. Okay, so that is yet to be seen. In my past experience with all the organizations that I've worked with, sometimes it takes time to integrate things. You will have to kill some products. You have to make new roadmap, maybe to come up with new feature set, new product with this synergy. So what the future holds is yet to be seen, but this is definitely very interesting. Okay, now Splunk, to my understanding, does a revenue of $4 billion, and Cisco acquired it in $28 billion. So it's going to take some time for them to definitely recover this investment. Okay, the second big acquisition is CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is has declared that they are going to acquire Bionic. Now, Bionic works in a space called application security posture management, and they use an agentless approach to collect all application artifacts to give complete visibility into each service dependency and data flow. So essentially, they have APIs and they query application runtime environments to understand what is the application inventory, what is the application security posture, how are the API talking, so API security, any security misconfiguration, application data privacy, and application resiliency posture. Okay, so CrowdStrike already has cloud security platform. So apart from their most popular EDR XDR platform, they are they've released that or they have said in the press release that they're going to offer Bionic as a independent offering. which will be completely integrated or fully integrated into the Falcon cloud security story. Okay. My personal view is that eventually this will become CNAP. So this is CrowdStrike's one step closer to this entire CNAP story. As I'm observing, CNAP players, which were earlier focused on cloud runtime and cloud workload protection, are also looking into building application security use cases. So started with DevSecOps, then software configuration analysis, supply chain risks, etc. And now application security, all that will come. Okay. So I think CrowdStrike is making a step in that direction. Again, integration, same thing. Let's see how it integrates. Integration in terms of offering, hey, one company providing multiple product makes sense, but let's see what kind of intelligence can be shared by these two products. That's where the real magic happens. Can I embed application telemetry into cloud telemetry, or can I share data from cloud to application and make some decisions around it? Okay, so that we'll see in future. The third acquisition is on the service provider side, which is Armor has acquired Quantum Security. This Quantum is based out of Singapore. So Armor is an MDR provider, a managed detection and response provider, and they provide services for XDR and SOC, vulnerability management, risk management, and also Armor Cloud. Quantum Security is a service provider that provides services around cloud automation, and this acquisition is aimed at enhancing Armor's capabilities, cloud security and IT risk. So this is going to augment Armor's MDR capabilities and moving into cloud detection and response. Okay. The last acquisition for today would be WatchGuard buying a company called Cyglass. So WatchGuard is a player that has use cases around network security, identity security, and multi-factor authentication. Also, they secure Wi-Fi and they have products for endpoint security. However, their major business is from network security, to my understanding. Cyglass, on the other hand, offers an extended cloud defense product that protects hybrid cloud and or as well as network threat surfaces with a single 100% cloud native AI driven solution. So this will augment WatchGuard capabilities. So those were the acquisitions. The second part today is let's talk about incidents. So ransomware, which is the most common incident category these days. There is a recent incident. A large company called McLaren Healthcare. They're one of the largest healthcare systems in Michigan. They have confirmed a ransomware attack, and it has potentially impacted patient data and has caused disruption in their computer network. In terms of breaches, multiple breaches have been reported. So the World Baseball Softball Confederation, WBSC, they left a data repository open, and that led to an exposure of around 50,000 files, which were highly sensitive in nature. Okay. So by the way, for those people who don't know, WBSC is the world's governing body for baseball, softball, and baseball 5. They are headquartered out of Switzerland. They were established in 2013 and has 141 countries as members located across Asia, Europe, Americas, Africa, and Oceania. On June 5th, the researchers discovered a misconfigured AWS bucket storing around 48,000 files, and this misconfiguration essentially exposed the repository content. This misconfigured AWS bucket also had copies of around 4,600 national passport, which means these can potentially lead to identity theft as passport contains personal details. Okay. The second breach is around a corporate called Johnson's Control International. They suffered a ransomware attack that impacted their operations and its subsidiaries. And this company essentially provides HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning business for building automation, fire and security systems, and components for energy management. Okay. Now, the threat actors who were behind this incident have also claimed that they have stolen over 27 terabytes of corporate data and encrypted the company's VMware ESXi virtual machines during the attack. They first breached their Asia offices, and then the ransomware targeted the VMware ESXi servers. The actor who's behind it is, as claimed by one of the security researchers, Gamil Ali. He speculated that that the actor behind this victim is Dark Angel's team, extortion group that has developed a new variant of their Linux ransomware, and the ransomware group is demanding a $51 million to provide a decryptor. And this was confirmed by the malware hunter team researchers. So they posted some screenshots on their Twitter handle. Okay. Another incident is a cybersecurity company called Darkbeam left an Elasticsearch and Kibana interface unprotected, and that exposed records from previously reported and non-reported data breaches. So this company is essentially into domain of digital risk protection. They do brand monitoring. They search dark web for any social exposures, and this particular exposure led to 3.8 billion records being exposed. Okay, this includes collection of login pairs of email and passwords, and it provides essentially limitless capabilities to the malicious actors on what they can do, which is what potentially they can create phishing campaigns and target the end users with using this personal information contained in the breach. Okay. Also, the largest crypto hack of this year, Mixing Network, which is a Hong Kong-based crypto firm behind a free, fast, and decentralized network for transferring digital assets, announced that it has suffered a $200 million heist. So they announced this earlier, and then they posted this on Twitter. And that threat actors had access to the database of Mixing Network's cloud service provider, stealing some assets on the main network. And then the company suspended deposits and withdrawals immediately after the discovery of this breach in September. So this is not new. Last few crypto breaches have been Atomic Wallet, $100 million, CoinSpade, $37.3 million, AlphaPo, $60 million, Stick.com, $41 million, and the North Korea linked APT group Lazarus was behind these incidents. This is around $250 million worth of crypto assets. Okay, and I've covered multiple other breaches that happened last year also, and Lazarus has been possibly behind most of these breaches. Okay, now on the nation state side, what are the nation state specific breaches I've heard about? So one, FBI has been warning that energy sectors are likely to see an increase in attacks, and Chinese and Russian hackers could be behind it. So they've released an advisory, and also a Chinese threat actors store around 60,000 email from US State Department in Microsoft server breach. Okay, so the State Department officials who were targeted were working in East Asia, the Pacific and Europe, and approximately 60,000 unclassified emails were exfiltrated as part of the breach. Now, the report also claims that no classified systems were hacked, and agency itself did not make any attribution, but they said that they don't doubt the attribution made by Microsoft. So Microsoft had been researching this. Okay, so in July, Microsoft announced that it had mitigated an attack conducted by a China-linked threat actor called as Tom0558, which targeted customer emails, and this actor was behind government agencies invested in Europe, and they were observed conducting cyber espionage, data theft, and credential access attacks. These attacks were reported by customers on June 16, 2023, and eventually Microsoft researchers discovered that the threat actor gained access to customer email accounts using Outlook web access in Exchange Online and Outlook.com by forging authentication tokens to access user emails. The investigation revealed that the attack began on 15th May 2023 when the threat actor gained access to email accounts affecting approximately 25 organizations, including government agencies, as well as related consumer accounts of individuals likely associated with these organizations. Okay, so you might have realized this nation states are trying to target all the countries because of geopolitical reasons, or at least the relevant countries that they have some sort of ties with. Okay, On the vulnerability and exploit side, two interesting vulnerabilities were exposed. The first one is there is a critical bug that was reported in the WS FTP software that's provided by Progress Software. Now, this product is really popular. WSFTP is used by around 40 million people globally. And although Progress has already remitted the vulnerabilities and issued specific hotfixes for these products. Okay. Now, this vulnerability allows attackers to get access to the affected system using a remote code execution RC based vulnerability. The second one is a critical day vulnerability has been reported in all versions of XML transfer agent that can let unauthenticated attackers gain remote code execution on internet exposed servers. Okay, so two vulnerabilities on similar nature of similar nature RCE. Okay, but what I found very interesting is a company called Operations Zero. This company is a Russia-based zero-day purchase platform that pays for offensive security research and products. So I knew about such companies, but this they are more exposed now, as companies like this always have been there, but they are more public in nature these days. Okay, so going back to Operation Zero, what they've done is they are providing an amount of from $200,000 to up to $20 million for providing zero-day vulnerabilities on iOS and Android. Okay, so they've increased payouts for top-tier mobile exploits. This company was founded in 2022 by Sergey Zeleniuk. My apologies if there was a mistake in how I pronounce the last name. He was a former researcher at Kaspersky Lab. This company specializes in the sale of zero-day exploits to both government bodies and private organizations, and these kind of exploits are very popular. The surveillance market is quite hot, and Operation Zero's client include Russian government agencies and private businesses. In April 2023, Operation Zero announced its expansion into the UAE market, seeking to attract new customers in Middle East, where the surveillance market is exploded. Okay. By the way, this is not the only companies in this domain. There are other companies, Zerodem and Exodus Intelligence. In fact, Zerodem's exploit execution program offers up to $2.5 million for zero-click, zero-day flaws in Android devices, and up to $2 million in similar zero-day issues affecting iOS devices. So these companies definitely exist. So if you're a great zero-day researcher, please go ahead. Not recommending. Okay. Now, on the Activism side, a pro-Russian hacker group No Name is suspected to have launched a DDoS attack that caused border checkpoint outages at several Canadian airports. So the Canadian Border Service Agency confirmed this attack, and they also confirmed that the attack impacted check-in kiosk and electronic gate at airports. So this is massive. CBSA was able to mitigate the attack after a few hours, and they confirmed on Tuesday that connectivity issues that affected kiosk and electronic gates at airports were the result of the DDoS from this group. Okay. Again, geopolitical reasons. Mobile specific threats. So a new campaign spreading xenomorph malware to Android users in the US and all over the world has been reported. So xenomorph malware was first spotted in February 2022, and it was distributed via the official Google Play Store, reaching over 50,000 installation. So the first version of this malware, banking specific malware, was targeting 56 European banks, and it steals information from the devices. Okay. The recent variant supports a new automated transfer system and framework, and can now target over 400 banks and financial institutes across Spain, Turkey, Poland, US, Australia, Canada, Italy, India, Portugal, France, Germany, and UAE. The ATS framework allows operators to automate the exfiltration of credentials, check account balances, conduct transactions, and steal money from target apps without a human interaction from an operator. Okay, and the actor that's supposedly behind this is called Hadoken Security Group. So, new banking malware. I remember my first banking malware was Carbank and Zeus way back in 2008, maybe 9. Okay, and it has evolved, and it was focused on desktop, and then eventually malware kits started to come in, and they were focused on working in tandem across mobile and desktop. Okay. New advisory. So NSA, FBI, and CISA have released a new cybersecurity information sheet on deepfake threats. This report is called Contextualizing Deepfake Threats to Organization, and it provides an overview of synthetic media threats like deepfakes, techniques, and trends. So if I get enough time, I'll definitely share notes on what I've learned from this report. With that, I'm very thankful to the sources. I keep going to multiple public blogs from various companies, and I summarize information or information of interest, and I'm thankful to all these sources. With that, if you like the podcast, don't forget to share it and keep giving your feedback and what you want to learn about. With that, thank you so much. I'll see you next time.